In this video, we are going to learn how to perform data pre-processing using KNIME Analytics platform. So the particular thing that we will look at is the missing value analysis, how to deal with missing values using KNIME. Let's take a look at the data set first, which we will be using in this exercise. So this is a snapshot of the data in front of you. As you can see, there are 16 rows. And you can see that this data is related to some sales context where we have some different types of stores. We have online stores, we have supermarkets. Then we have certain product categories. We have two regions, North and West. And then we have the store efficiency and the sales revenue in thousands of dollars. As you can see, some of the values are missing here. Like this product category is missing in ID 12. Then we have a store efficiency, which is missing. Then we have a sales revenue, which is missing. So we will see how to deal with missing values. So let's get back to KNIME and let's read the data set first. Now, since it's an Excel file, I'm going to bring this Excel reader node on my workflow editor. And I will go and configure this node and go to browse, give the file location. So this is the data file practice dataset, and I'm going to open this file, and you can see here that the file has been read. You can see those red question marks in place of blanks. So we will just deal with them in a moment. If you notice, there is this ID column, which is usually not needed in any analysis later. So I'm just going to get rid of this column right here. I will not load this ID column into the workflow editor. To do that, I'm going to go to the transformation tab, and I will simply uncheck this ID column, and that way it will not be loaded into the workspace. And then let's click OK. And now when I execute this node by pressing this button here or pressing execute here, you can see that this becomes green, which means the data has been loaded into the workspace. And here we can go and read the data. So you can see all rows have been read. You can see those red question marks in place of the missing values. Notice we did not read in the ID column, but we still see this row number and row ID, which have been placed by KNIME for its own data handling purposes. But our data essentially consists of these 5 columns, as it says 5 columns and 16 rows, which we have read. And those 5 columns being store, category, region, store efficiency, and sales revenue. So let's close this window. And now we are going to perform missing value analysis. To do that, I'm going to click here on this arrow here, and then I will drag into an empty space on the workflow editor. When I leave my mouse, a window opens which says search compatible nodes, and I will write missing here, and it gives me a list of nodes which are applicable. So I need this missing value node, so I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to go and configure this node. Okay, so the first tab is the default settings for handling missing values. Now, if my data type is of string, what I can do is I can replace it with a fixed value. I can use the most frequent value. I can use the next value, previous value, or I can even remove the row. So these are different ways of dealing with different missing values. If it's a number, again, I can use mean, median, etc. I can choose the most frequent value as well. And likewise, if it's a number integer and number double, the difference is that the number double will have decimal numbers. Likewise, I can choose the treatment for missing values. Or I can go to individual columns and take a look at what do I need to do if a certain column has something missing. Now, if you recall, in my data set, I had 3 missing values. I had missing values in category, store efficiency, and sales revenue. So let's go to category, and I will click add. Now, if category has missing values, what I will do is I will replace it with the most frequent value, since this is just a text. So I will assume that the most frequent value is missing. So I will just replace that category with the most frequent value. Then store efficiency was missing. So for store efficiency, let's do a treatment of replacing by the median. And for the sales revenue, let's do a treatment where we replace by the mean or the average. So we are going to apply these three different techniques on these three different columns. And I'm going to click OK. And when I click execute from either here, or I press the shortcut key F7, or I click execute here, I will see that the indicator here turns green, which means the node has executed. And now I'm going to go and take a look at my data table. Now you see there is no blank or missing value. Those red question marks have gone, and the treatment has been done. So this is how we are going to deal with missing values in a data set. Remember, there are two ways of doing it. Either you apply it across the board to the entire data set depending upon the column type, or you may choose individual columns and then apply a different method of dealing with the missing value in that particular column. Usually the methods which are used are replacement by mode, which is the most frequently occurring value, replacement by median, and replacement by the average or the mean. Now, if you take a look at this dataset closely, it is intentional, you can see the last two rows are duplicate. Those two rows have exactly the same content. Row 14 and row 15 have exactly the same content. So duplication of data is another data quality issue that appears in our data sets, and we have to deal with that as well. Since this is a small data set, just by taking a look at the data set will identify duplicate values. But when we are dealing with very large data sets, we cannot do that manually. So we have to have a way of doing it automatically. Let's treat this duplication now. So what I will do is that I'm going to add another node which will deal with duplicate. So here it says duplicate row filter. So remember, the workflow is in an order. First of all, I read my file, I gave it to a node where it treated the missing values, and now I'm giving that treated data to the next node in the sequence, which is the duplicate row filter. And let's set that up. And now what I will do is that I'm going to, of course, include all columns. And how do I handle duplicates? Remove duplicates rows or keep duplicate rows. Of course, I would want to remove duplicate rows. So this is checked. Now, row chosen in case of duplicate. If there are duplicates, do I keep the first row, or if there are a lot of rows, do I keep the last row? And then there are some other options as well, and you can explore those options by clicking this question mark here, which gives you more information on how to handle the duplicates based upon your own requirements. So for now, I'm going to keep the first row in case of a duplicate found, and that is it. And I'm going to click OK. And now when I execute the node, this node indicator turns green, which means it has been executed. And now when I take a look at the data table, you can see now that row 15 has gone. We are left with only one row, and the other duplicate has been removed from the data set. Another way to look at the data tables is you right-click on the node, and then you go to open output port, and then if you click on table, you will still see that the data table is now visible in front of you. So this is the treated data set that is now in the memory of KNIME Analytics platform, and any further analysis will be using this treated data set, which means when I start to build this workflow further, I will start from this duplicate row filter onwards and not from the first row, because this duplicate row filter now has the updated and treated data set. So in this video, we learned two different things about the data pre-processing. The first was dealing with missing values, and the second was getting rid of duplicate rows in our data set. In the next video, we will extend this workflow and we will take a look at performing outlier analysis on this data set.